Jamie, here we are, 6 months on from Monaco. How's life been the last 6 months?
Extremely busy, more than anything. Everything's always been busy, but I felt after Monaco, having a bit more clarity and vision on everything, it's allowed me to just get going, probably more so than I can actually physically manage and mentally manage, but it's been good. It's been a very good, busy, successful summer. Still a lot to do and a lot to work on, but we're getting there.
Could you maybe think of some specifics that have changed or improved since Monaco? So what, in a business sense, or an emotional sense, or a family sense?
In all three. In a family sense, myself and my two girls, I feel a bit more settled with life. What I said earlier, a little bit more vision and clarity in what it is I'm doing. So that reflects in home and family life. So everything's a bit more settled at home. Business-wise, it's been very busy. I have concentrated mainly in the summer on serviced accommodation, bringing in a few rent-to-rents in. I found that challenging but rewarding. It's been a very good summer. It's been an expensive summer as well. Nothing's ever cheap to do. But I've brought a lot on, and I've found just by getting on with it that I've made a lot of contacts. I've had a lot of opportunities, probably more so than I can actually physically manage on my own, but has been good. And I guess on the business side as well, on the finance side, I'm slowly starting to get a grip of finances, realising just what it is I'm spending, how much I'm spending, where it's going, how I can streamline that. I'm starting to make cutbacks there and cost savings, and especially in things like simple things that I learned in Monaco, like mortgage rates and remortgaging and everything else. And I've obvious lessons learned. I've saved a lot of money in this last few months.
I mean, that's a very difficult question, but do you have any figure to your mind as to what you've saved per month or whatever, just by being more efficient?
Just on mortgages on two properties, about £1,100 a month.
Well, not bad stuff,
by remortgaging, and I didn't realise I could do it. I thought, coming from Aberdeen, where the market suffered, the residential market suffered, that I would have to get surveys done and go the whole rigmarole, finding new lenders and everything else. But in actual fact, going back through my residential broker and just having her speak to the lenders, which I didn't think I could do, I thought the house prices or the house values were significantly less than when I bought. In actual fact, that wasn't the case. And it was just knowing that little bit of fact, and big, significant savings, easily done. And there's still a long way to go on that side.
Sure. So you're up over £1,000 a month, but it's going to be several £1,000s a month by the time you finish.
I have recently taken on a PA who's working a couple of mornings a week, which has forced me to start working harder on my figures and the finances and costs. And already, just in the last few weeks, by working with her and working my own books again, I'm starting to see significant areas for savings. So
you've got a staff member?
I've got a staff member, yeah, which is scary in itself, but it's a big move forward for me, and it's making big differences already. So I've got to make the most of that, take advantage of it.
Sure. And you said during the middle of the previous section that you've opened up some more service accommodation. I know you've got a number of your own service accommodation units.
Yeah.
And you've taken on some rent-to-rents.
Yeah.
So how many have you got in total now?
I have 2 owned serviced units, and I've got 4 rent-to-rents. And in the next 4 weeks, I'll be opening up another 2 of my own.
Right.
That I'm changing from buy-to-let to serviced. And currently on the table, I've got another 3 rent-to-rent opportunities.
So you've been to double figures?
I could be. Before Christmas, I could be. I just have to be very careful that, again, time and money, getting them ready. Time especially, it's quite a big job to open up a service unit from scratch if you're doing it all on your own.
Yeah. So are you happy enough with the income you're getting from the serviced units you've got?
It's variable. We've had a very good summer. I'm now looking forward towards the winter and sort of bracing myself for how that will be, depending on where the properties are located. But for instance, one of the properties, which is a rent to rent, and we just brought on in the spring, I think for September, October, we made 17,000, or we turned over £17,000 on one house.
One house?
One house.
£8,500 a month?
Yeah, for 5 contractors staying in it.
So, I mean, that's what it's all about.
That's what it's about.
Long-term contractor booking.
If we can get that in, not even to quite that rate, but if we could hit 50% of that, I'd be over the moon with each of the properties.
Well, since you talk about £8,500 per property per month, your profit's got to be around the £5,000 mark, I should think, per property.
Yeah, obviously there was booking commissions and there was management agency commissions and everything else, and there's been costs. But yeah, I think somewhere in £4,500 to £5,000 per month for that one property, wow. Which went a long way. It's a big house. It's a nice house, and it went a long way to covering the costs of setting the place up and furnishing and getting us up and running. And it's paid a little bit towards another project. So yeah, I was very pleased with that, and with just many more, please. That would be great.
Yeah. And equally important to you, I know there's many more things in life that's far more important to you than money, but money's what enables you to do those things.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if I was to hazard a guess, I would say, from what I know of you, probably the most important thing in your life is your 2 girls.
Absolutely, yep.
And I know how hard it must be, I don't know, I can imagine how hard it must be trying to do all that on your own, because unfortunately, I mean, not that people watching this would know, but unfortunately you were widowed a number of years ago, weren't you now?
Yeah, 2 years and 8 months ago.
Tells me every time I need to know 2 years and 8 months.
I'll give you the days and hours if you like. Which meant I was a single dad of 2 girls, now 12 and 14. And that's been the biggest challenge in everything I'm doing. Not long prior to losing my wife, I was made redundant as well. So there was a big challenging time for a few months. But yeah, the priority has been to provide for my girls, and everything is built around them. So it is a challenge working in this industry, even on my own, because everything is geared around their school day, their activities, their needs. So it's not a straightforward business or industry by a long way, but it comes with its own challenges through personal life as well. So yeah.
Well, I mean, a big part of, for me, when we sat down 6 months ago, it was almost like you had to give yourself permission to move on, and there was a certain amount of, and I can very strongly empathise, but it was almost like you felt guilty.
That's 2 big things. Guilt. One was to do stuff that was new and risky when I had the responsibility of the girls. So there's a big guilt thing there, trying to build a business on my own. But also, yes, permission. You feel you need permission from everybody you're involved with, whether it's friends and family, the kids. You need their buy-in. So that's been a big challenge in its own. And not just in business, just everything you do, you feel you need that permission, or you need the approval of those around you. Yeah.
It's been fantastic to see the way in which you've progressed, from a business perspective, but also from an emotional and a familial perspective. And the guys and girls that you're out there in Monaco with, you've stayed in pretty regular contact with them, haven't you?
Very much. We started up our own WhatsApp group, which is probably 90% humour rather than business. But it's quite good, because if there is a wee question or a little query you have, you can put it to the group, and they're always fast in responding. And I think you can see just on how easy everybody's got together this weekend again, just how much everybody meant to each other. And I think that's going to continue. It's been good. That's been a big plus part of it.
If there's anybody out there in video land watching this and thinking, is the Formula One right for me? Because We've got obviously you went to Monaco. In a couple of weeks' time, I'm just disappearing to Dubai for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix.
Okay, nice.
And we're taking a group out there. And because we've got so much demand, we're having to open up the Monza Grand Prix. Next year I'm doing 3. So it's not specifically Monaco, it's Formula One.
Mm-hmm.
But if you had the chance to talk to somebody about your experiences with your Formula One legacy trip, what kind of words would you use to describe your experience, and would you recommend the trip to other people?
Yeah, first I would make sure that I didn't have any other arrangements on so I could actually make the race.
What Jamie did is he came out and did the entire mentorship piece, but then unfortunately had to go home to squeeze himself into some lycra in order to
Absolutely.
about the place.
Yep.
So he had a long-term commitment, so he never actually saw the race.
Never saw the race, unfortunately. And I do like Formula One as well, so that was quite annoying. I went, I guess, not really knowing what to expect from the Monaco trip. And I think I was a bit worried and a bit nervous about my lack of experience or success, how I saw it. What I really liked was the mix of people that were there and how supportive they were, and how you just came to realise that everybody's in the same boat. And the support I've got from the rest of the group has been great. I picked up and learnt a lot more than I was really expecting to. And some simple, obvious things, right back to full-on business advice. And it's just, the people have been the big bonus, definitely.
So if there's somebody out there watching it thinking, well, I'm not really sure if it's for me, it's maybe too advanced for me or whatever, what do you say to them?
It's not too advanced. It's geared at everybody. The group that we had are a complete spread of people, and I could see from the week we were there that everybody took stuff away. No matter how experienced they were, how much of a beginner they were, or how far into the property journey they were, everybody took some really good stuff away. I've signed up to come back next year. That's, I think, the biggest testimonial I can give.
Oh, wow. Thank you, Jamie. Look forward to seeing you very, very soon, and see you in Monaco again. And
Cool.
This time you're going to watch the race.
I'm not going cycling this time.